The city of Liverpool is no stranger to crime. Known as the Port City, it has been a hub for drug smuggling and robberies. In the late 20th century, however, drugs have taken over as the main source of income for organised crime gangs that have transformed Merseyside into a crucial location in the UK's drug trafficking operations. In 2025, Merseyside police estimate that around 120 gangs are active in and around Liverpool. These gangs are not only involved in drug importation, but also in the illegal firearms trade. This led to the National Crime Agency labelling Liverpool as the city outside of London that dominates the firearms and drugs trade in the UK. Gang culture, poverty, and widespread fear have contributed to some shocking, unsolved killings that have left families without justice. In today's episode, we will cover some of the most shocking, unsolved murders connected to Liverpool's gangland. Welcome back to True Gangster Stories. If you like UK true crime documentaries and true gangster stories, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, or leave us a comment, as it helps the channel in a big way. During the 1980s, Liverpool became known as Smack City because of the flood of heroin and some very violent turf wars. Notorious gangsters like Tommy Comerford and Curtis Warren, who came after Comerford, built drug cartels with international reach. The Huyton Firm emerged in the 1990s, the group known for their planned grenade and gun attacks on rivals. However, in 2009, they were accused of these crimes and were sent to trial in the Liverpool Crown Court. As the profits from the sale of narcotics grew, the gangs invested in weapons of all sorts. When the UK law enforcement officers got access to EncroChat, this exposed all the dealings and activities of the major players in the criminal underworld. Based on information collected by the officers, over 70% of the firearms across the UK was linked back to Liverpool. The firearms trade was thriving in Liverpool, with weapons coming directly from South America along with the drugs. This violent environment breeds fear in the communities, and many murders go unsolved because witnesses refuse to speak with the police. The families of these victims have filed numerous appeals for information, but the intimidation from gangsters ensure silence on these killings. The following cases paint a picture of how bold killings occur in broad daylight, with the clues and evidence vanishing like the killers back into the city's dirty criminal underworld.
Detectives and the family of Sam Rimmer, who was fatally shot in Dingle, continue to appeal for more information 1 year after his death on Tuesday 16th of August 2022.
The most recent high-profile gangland hit that is unsolved is the murder of Sam Rimmer. On the 16th of August 2022, Sam, who was 22 years old at the time of his death, was visiting some of his friends in Dingle. Just before midnight, 4 men who were on 2 electric bikes entered the cul-de-sac on Lavrock Bank. One of the riders was armed with a submachine gun and opened fire on the group. Sam got shot in his chest from one of the 7 bullets that was fired into the crowd. He was rushed to the hospital, but later died from the shooting. Upon investigating, the police got information that the gang had been riding around for over 2 hours, looking for a rival before they struck. There's no evidence of Sam being in any gang or having any affiliations. So why did this happen how it did? Since the murder, police have arrested 10 people, but no charges have been brought against anyone. There's information that one of his friends had chased the bikes off the street earlier that evening, and that they came back for revenge. The murder suspects met up at another location and got on different bikes and went back to Lavrock and shot at the group. There's a £20,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the criminals who killed Sam Rimmer. On the 17th of October 2018, Leroy Ottey, known as Mary, was 25 years old when he stepped out of a taxi outside his home on Alderson Road in Wavertree. Moments later, he was shot multiple times. A passerby saw a dark-coloured Audi speeding away from the scene. Hours later, police found a burnt-out Audi S3 Quattro nearby. Ottey had no chance to escape and died from his injuries. Merseyside police arrested 2 men on suspicion of murder, but both were released as investigations continue. This brutal killing remains unsolved, adding to the list of Liverpool's violent gangland mysteries. Just weeks earlier, on October 7th, 2018, Carl Russell, aged 27, was sitting in a car with his girlfriend on Cornwood Close in Belle Vale. A gunman on a pushbike approached and fired 4 bullets through the car window. Neighbours rushed to help, but Russell died from his gunshot wounds. Police noted the killer wore a distinctive high-visibility orange jacket. 2 men were arrested, but the shooter has not been caught. This daylight attack shocked the community and left another family without answers. In the early hours on the 4th of November 2017, Adam Ellison, 29, was walking home from a night out in Marketplace, Prescott. He got into a brief argument with individuals on a scrambler bike. One of the riders stabbed Ellison in the neck with an unknown weapon. He was rushed to hospital but died that morning. Merseyside police arrested 3 young men, but all were released pending further investigation. Ellison's family described him as a devoted son who always helped others. Years later, no one has been charged in this tragic case. On the 2nd of June 2017, Yusuf Sonko, an 18-year-old with dreams of attending university, was chatting with friends on Tagus Street in Toxteth. A gunman on a pedal bike fired several shots into the group. Sonko was struck in the head and died at the scene. Detectives believed the shooter was targeting someone else, and Sonko was an innocent victim caught in the crossfire. Several arrests have been made, but no charges have been filed. Sonko's parents continue to appeal for information to bring justice for their son. Aaron Lewis, a 26-year-old bricklayer and former junior kickboxing champion, was shot up to 8 times on Grosvenor Street in Wavertree on February 1st, 2017. He had just bought food at a chip shop moments before the attack. Police recovered 2 firearms, a 9mm handgun and a .44 caliber revolver, but only 1 suspect was arrested and later released. Lewis's father spoke of the pain of knowing the killer remains free. This case is another stark reminder of Liverpool's violent underworld. On the 7th of February 2015, 17-year-old Kevin Wilson was shot in the back at the junction of Smithdown Road and Holmes Street in Wavertree. 13 people have been arrested in connection with the killing, but no one has been charged. 2 men were jailed for interfering with the investigation by taking Wilson's phone and filming themselves with the murder weapon, but they were cleared of direct involvement. Police suspect the killing was linked to a drugs rivalry, yet it remains unsolved. In January 2014, Liverpool gang member Francis Brennan was stopped by fake police officers on a road near Alicante, Spain. Weeks later, his strangled and battered body, wrapped in a bin bag, washed up on a beach. Coroner Andre Rebello ruled that Brennan was unlawfully killed. Police believe Merseyside criminals abducted him over a drugs debt. No one has been charged, and the case highlights how Liverpool's gangland violence extends beyond the city's borders. On March 22nd in 2013, Karl Bradley, brother of notorious gangster Kirk Bradley, was shot 4 times and left dead in the snow in a back garden on Penshaw Close. His body was discovered the next morning. Police believe this was a targeted hit, but no motive has been established. 4 people were arrested on suspicion of murder, but no charges have been brought. This case remains a chilling example of Liverpool's gangland executions. On the 2nd of December 2012, 21-year-old Jamie Starkey was preparing to decorate a Christmas tree with his 7-year-old sister when a gunman shot him 6 times outside his home on Higher Lane in Fazakerley. He was hit 4 times in the chest and twice in the head and died at the scene. 5 people were questioned, but no one has been charged. Starkey's family believe the killer may not be linked to his feud with drug dealer Daniel G. Police later identified a Browning self-loading pistol found in the Leeds-Liverpool Canal as the murder weapon. Starkey's father said the unsolved killing has torn their family apart. On the 14th of June 2012, Joseph Thompson, a 32-year-old high-ranking member of the Strand Gang, was shot multiple times on Ravensthorpe Green. His friend survived, but Thompson died at the scene. Police believe the killing stemmed from infighting among gang members. 4 men were arrested, but no charges were filed. CCTV images showed a dark-coloured Citroën C4 nearby, but the wall of silence in the community has kept this case unsolved. During January 2011, on the 20th, 25-year-old Joey Cummins was shot 3 times in the back outside his home on Longmoor Lane in Fazakerley. Thick fog that night helped the killer escape. Cummins staggered to a nearby car shop and was taken to hospital but died from his injuries. 5 people were arrested and released. His mother, Carol, continues to plead for information to solve this murder, known as the Murder in the Mist. On an evening in 2011, 20-year-old Edward Pybis, known as Eddie, was sitting in the passenger seat of a silver Volvo on Huyton Avenue when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting. He died 6 days later. 8 people have been arrested, but no one has been charged. Police believe the killers are known figures in Liverpool's gangland. A black BMW 7 Series, registration D X57 UHU, and 2 men in a dark saloon car involved in an earlier altercation are key focuses of the investigation. On September the 21st, 2010, Colin Hughes, aged 42, stepped outside his home on Barden Road in Old Swan to investigate a noise. He was stabbed once in the chest and died despite his fiancée's efforts to save him until paramedics arrived. 10 people have been arrested, but no one has been charged. Hughes's fiancée, Paula Greenwood, continues to appeal for information to bring justice for his death. The 5th day of June 2010, 23-year-old Paul Pike from Belle Vale was sitting in his van at traffic lights on Crosby Road, North and South Road, when a stolen silver Audi TT pulled up. Gunmen fired multiple bullets into the van, killing Pike. Several arrests have been made, and a £10,000 reward is offered, but no one has been convicted. Police suspect this was part of tit-for-tat shootings between rival gangs. April the 29th, 2010, Nicky Ayers, a 46-year-old Sunday League football manager with underworld connections, was shot 7 times at close range on South Cantrell Avenue after returning from a chip shop. 17 people have been arrested, but no one has provided formal evidence. Police believe a silver-coloured car and a motorbike seen driving erratically near the scene are linked to the killing. The murder is thought to stem from a gang respect issue, possibly ordered by a large drug gang with international ties. On 9th January 2009, 22-year-old Sean Finnan was beaten with a metal bar and stabbed in the leg on Barons Hay in Stockbridge Village while trying to retrieve his younger brother's stolen bike. He died 4 days later. His mother, Rose, has repeatedly asked the community to come forward with information, but the case remains unsolved. On the 13th of November 2007, Colin Smith, a 40-year-old Halewood businessman with alleged links to international drug trafficking, was lured to Nell's gym in Speke. A gunman shot him twice in the stomach with a pump-action shotgun at close range. Rumours suggested a foreign cartel ordered the hit over a £72 million cocaine dispute, but Smith's mother insisted local criminals were responsible. The killer has never been found, leaving another family without justice. On the 2nd of July 2006, 58-year-old grandfather James Stanton was shot in the back and head while working in the office of Aintree Commercial Vehicles on Ormskirk Road. Police believe 2 men targeted the company, possibly intending to kill someone else. The killers used a stolen blue Toyota Avensis and a black Vauxhall Vectra, later burning the getaway car. Despite a Crime Watch appeal and multiple calls naming a suspect, no one has been charged. In October 2005, 22-year-old Royal Navy seaman Anthony Cavanagh was home on leave in Liverpool. After leaving the Walkabout bar in Concert Square, he accidentally bumped into a group and apologised. Later that night, one member of the group punched him outside the venue. Cavanagh fell, hit his head, and died 11 days later. A suspect was arrested a decade later, but released, and the case remains open. On the 3rd of August 2005, 3 masked men burst into the home of 22-year-old mother of 3 Lucy Hargreaves on Lambourne Road in Walton, while her partner, Gary Campbell, slept upstairs with their youngest daughter. The gunman shot Hargreaves twice in the stomach and once in the head with a sawn-off shotgun. They poured petrol and set the house alight to destroy evidence. Campbell escaped with their child, but Hargreaves died. Police suspect Campbell, linked to the Grizzdale crew, was the intended target. Detectives continue to search for Kevin Parle, a suspect in this murder, and that of Liam Kelly. On the 24th of February 2004, 22-year-old Craig Eaton, an Alderhay Children's Hospital worker, was shot twice while walking along Molyneux Road in Kensington at around 11:15 p.m. He died in hospital. 9 years later, Detective Chief Inspector Neil Clark said police believe Eaton was shot in a case of mistaken identity by a suspect tied to the criminal world. A £10,000 reward is still available, but Eaton's family continues to wait for justice. On the 19th of June 2004, 16-year-old Liam Kelly was shot twice on Grafton Street in Dingle. One gunman, Anthony Campbell, was convicted, but another suspect, Kevin Parle, remains at large, believed to have fled abroad. This partially unsolved case shows how Liverpool's gangland networks allow killers to disappear. On the 28th of December 2004, 45-year-old father of four, Joey Peloe, answered his door on Little Heath Road in Speke. An unknown gunman shot him once. Peloe dragged himself to a nearby police station, but died from his injuries. Two men were charged but acquitted in 2006 after a judge ruled there was no evidence linking them to the killing. No one else has been charged. On the 24th of January 2002, 30-year-old Lyndon Nowell left the Coronation pub in Childwall to meet a man over a debt. He vanished, and his hired silver Ford Focus was found burnt out in Swinton, Greater Manchester, the next day. Despite extensive searches, including dredging canals and digging gardens, no trace of Nowell has been found. Police and his family fear he was killed by underworld figures, but the case remains a missing person inquiry. On the 25th of July 2001, 30-year-old Richard Clayton was chased by gunmen after leaving a gym on Belgrave Road in Aigburth. He ran to a house for safety, but collapsed and died from multiple gunshot wounds. The killer's green Ford Mondeo was later found burned out. Clayton's twin sister, Julie, still hopes for closure by catching those responsible. Around 1/3 of children in the Liverpool City region live below the poverty line. High unemployment and deprivation make gang life appealing to young men, offering status, money, and protection. These criminal groups pull them into a cycle of violence, leading to revenge killings and unsolved crimes that tear communities apart. Liverpool's gangs are highly organised and operate on an international scale. The Huyton Firm sends hit squads abroad and works with cartels in Ireland, Russia, and North Africa. National Crime Agency officers report that Northwest criminals import cocaine directly from South America and modify cheap pistols into automatic weapons for resale. These networks hire shooters to carry out murders, making it hard for police to trace the masterminds, especially when they direct hits from overseas. Many murders remain unsolved because witnesses fear retaliation. Families of victims like Sam Rimmer, Yusuf Sonko, and Adam Ellison have begged for information, noting it can be given anonymously. Yet the no-grass culture protects killers. In the Andrew Jones case, 9 witnesses refused to name the attacker, leading the coroner to accuse them of shielding a murderer. Liverpool's gangland has produced some of the UK's most violent criminals and feuds. The city's history as a port and its socio-economic challenges have allowed sophisticated gangs to thrive. While police have jailed major figures like Curtis Warren and leaders of the Huyton Firm, the murders above show how killers often escape justice. From Sam Rimmer's 2022 ambush to Carl Russell's execution and Lucy Hargreaves' brutal shotgun attack, each case leaves families grieving and communities in fear. These killings highlight the need to tackle organised crime, reduce poverty, and provide alternatives to gang life. Building trust between police and communities is crucial to encourage witnesses to speak. Only then can Liverpool bring justice to these victims and end the cycle of violence. If you enjoy UK true crime stories, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, or leave a comment to support our work.